Hello, my name is Emma, and I'm here to tell you a story about something really important. Have you ever wondered why listening is so important? I used to think talking was the most important thing, but then I learned something that changed everything. One day, when I was just 10 years old, my friend Sarah came to me. She looked really upset. I was excited to tell her about my day, so I started talking, not even asking how she was. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, but I didn't notice. It wasn't until she walked away that I realized something was wrong. Later, I found out that she had a big problem, and all she needed was for someone to listen to her. I felt so bad. If only I had listened. From that day on, I promised myself I would always listen first and then speak. You see, listening isn't just about hearing words. It's about understanding, showing you care, and making the other person feel valued. A few years later, in high school, I met a girl named Olivia. She was new, and she didn't speak English very well. I could tell she felt alone because she didn't have anyone to talk to. One day, I sat next to her and just listened. She told me how hard it was for her to learn English and how people made fun of her accent. I listened to her, and then I told her something I wished someone had told me when I was younger. Don't worry about speaking perfectly. Just try, and I'll be here to listen. We became close friends, and every day I would help her practice English. We would talk about everything: school, dreams, even silly things like what we wanted to eat for lunch. The more she spoke, the better she got. Listening gave her the confidence to keep learning, and soon she was speaking fluently. There's something magical that happens when you really listen. You make the other person feel important, and when you feel important, you believe in yourself more. That's what happened to Olivia. I still remember the day she stood in front of the class and gave a speech. She was so nervous, but she did it. She looked at me after she finished, and we both smiled. That's the power of listening. It helps people grow. Learning English is a lot like that. It's not just about talking, it's about listening. When you listen to people speak English, you learn so much. You hear how they say words, how they put sentences together, and it all helps you become better. I want to share some tips with you, not just for learning English, but for being a better listener, because they go hand in hand. Tip 1: when someone speaks, don't think about what you're going to say next. Just focus on their words. You'll be surprised at how much you understand. Tip 2: try to watch English movies or listen to English songs. Even if you don't understand everything, your brain will start to pick up on the language. Tip 3: speak to yourself in English. It may sound silly, but it works. You can practice conversations in your head and imagine how people might respond. Tip 4: Be patient with yourself. Learning a new language takes time, but every day you get a little better. Tip 5: Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't understand something, it's okay. Asking for help is a great way to learn. One day, Olivia and I were walking in the park when she told me about her mom. Her mom didn't speak English, and it made her feel shy. Olivia wanted to help her mom learn, but she didn't know how. I told her the same thing I told her when we first met: start small. Just listen, and she'll feel more confident. A week later, Olivia invited me to her house. Her mom was there, and we all sat together. Olivia's mom started speaking in broken English, and I listened. She was so nervous, but the more we listened, the more comfortable she became. By the end of the evening, she was laughing and telling stories in English. It made me realize something important: listening not only helps the person who is speaking, but it also helps the listener. When I listened to Olivia's mom, I learned new words, new phrases, and even new ways to express myself. Listening is the key to understanding, and understanding is the key to learning. Tip 6: Practice listening more than speaking. The more you listen, the better you'll understand how the language works. Tip 7: Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes them, and that's how we learn. If you're too worried about being perfect, you'll never start. Tip 8: Surround yourself with people who support you. When you have someone who listens to you, like I did for Olivia, it makes learning much easier. Tip 9: Try to write down new words you hear. Keeping a little notebook of words can help you remember them later. Tip 10: Read out loud. This helps with pronunciation and makes you more comfortable with speaking English. One evening, Olivia told me about something that made both of us cry. Her mom had gotten a job interview, but she was too scared to go because of her English. Olivia and I spent the whole night helping her practice. We listened to her, corrected her gently, and encouraged her to keep going. The next day, she went to the interview, and guess what? She got the job. It was one of the happiest moments of our lives. And it all started with listening. Tip 11: Stay positive. Learning a language can feel hard, but every time you listen, you're learning something new. Tip 12: Speak slowly. When you rush, it's harder for others to understand you. Take your time, and the words will come naturally. Tip 13: Ask people to repeat things if you don't understand. It's better to ask than to pretend you know what they said. Tip 14: Listen to different types of English. There are many accents, and each one teaches you something new. Whether it's American English, British English, or any other accent, listen carefully and try to understand the differences. Tip 15. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. The more you listen, the better you'll become, but it takes time. Tip 16. Practice speaking in front of a mirror. This helps you see how your mouth moves when you say words. Tip 17. Repeat what you hear. If you listen to a new word or phrase, try saying it out loud a few times. Tip 18. Find a language partner. Just like I helped Olivia, you can find someone to practice with. It's more fun when you have someone to talk to. Tip 19. Celebrate your progress. Every little improvement is a big step forward. Be proud of yourself for trying. Tip 20. Don't give up. Learning English, or any language, takes time, but it's worth it. One day, years after we first met, Olivia and I were sitting together at a cafe. She was speaking perfect English now, and I couldn't help but feel proud of her. She looked at me and said, "Thank you for listening to me when no one else did." Her words made me realize that listening isn't just about language. It's about connection, about understanding each other. When you listen, you show love, care, and respect. And that's why listening is so important. It can change lives, just like it changed mine and Olivia's. What about you? Have you ever had a moment where listening made all the difference? Let me know.